Hey, it's Marina, Travel Experta. Today, we're going to talk about traveling tips when traveling to Utah. Are you ready to make every day an adventure? Because Utah, you can make every day an adventure. But first, it's great to know some travel tips when you are traveling to Utah. Obviously, you're going to be flying into Salt Lake City International Airport. It's the only real massive airport there, and it looks like pretty much that is the landing and the beginning area. Beginning way of getting started when you arrive to Utah. So when you arrive to Salt Lake City Airport is quite small, so that's a really, really cool benefit. There are a ton of rental cars. I personally rented our car through Expedia. I have found that Expedia really does give the best rates, and there's tons to choose from. The one thing though I did not realize is that some close by 4 or 5 p.m. So even if your flight is coming in around 2 or 3 p.m., you always want to make sure that you have that space because of a delay or who knows what, and you will lose your car. So make sure that you do that before you actually commit to the rental. Utah is pretty flat, so it's really easy to get around unless you are going towards the mountains. So if you're going to be headed into the mountains themselves and you want to do Salt Lake City, we personally stayed in Salt Lake City itself in an area which is super, super accessible to everything, including going to Park City, to Sundance, to all the other really cool places where you could ski or snowboard or other outdoors activities. So I recommend for you to find a good place where you could do both. Or if you only want to go to the one, it's so close. Park City is like 40 minutes. Everything is right around Salt Lake City International Airport if you're going to Salt Lake or the skiing. However, I'll be honest with you, Utah is an incredible state. There are so many things to do. Honestly, if you're even there for like a month or two, I don't think you'll be able to see all of it. That's how amazing it is. However, for instance, we also went to another area that was Joe's Canyon. It was about 3 hours away. So we first stayed in Salt Lake, then went down to Joe's Canyon. There are, Moab, Arches, Bryce, Zion. So if you are going to be doing that, make sure that you have a good route of how you are going to be doing it. Interestingly enough, it really is so fast to I mean, 3 or 4 hour drives don't feel like 3 or 4 hour drives. So when you are going to go and do like the road trips, it is that. It's a road trip. It's fun. You can stop on the way. There's tons of service stations and tons of gas stations all over the place. So these are just some of the things to know about Utah. Another really cool fun fact that we did not realize until we're there. I don't know the reason behind this, but there is no traffic in Utah. We are coming from Guatemala. Guatemala City is Guatemala is called the country of eternal spring, and we are also calling it the country of eternal traffic. It is never ending. Everywhere you go, it's pretty much traffic. So when we got to Utah, and we were in Utah for almost 2 weeks, 12 days. So we drove during rush hour, during weekends, during all hours we drove around, never any traffic, never. It was just heavenly. The majority of the highways are at 70 miles per hour. That's because they don't anticipate traffic. It was just amazing. So that is one of the coolest things about Utah. Overall, people are incredibly friendly there and super helpful. It's easy to find your way around. So just have fun, but be sure that you have your accommodations in place because it does get booked out even during off season. It does. Utah is a popular state. Also, car rentals. If you are planning on getting a car rental, I don't really know that much about their public transportation or their bus service, but car is definitely by far going to be the cheapest and the easiest way to get around, and you'll have the most amount of fun. You can stop wherever you want. So, if you found this to be helpful, this episode to be helpful, please leave a review, share it with your friends, and if you can't think of many ways to make every day an adventure, I've got you covered. Go to travelexperta.com. That's travel expert with an A.com. I've got a free make every day an adventure list for you. And Make every day an adventure. This is Marina, Travel Experta.